All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of the Raw Podcast. I am your host, Rahsaan Corbin II. If you see me look this way, it's because there's a script so I can stay on track and don't get, be here for hours and hours.
I got mine too.
Yeah. But yeah, to today's episode, we have someone who has helped out a lot during my time at FAMU when I was my first year as vice president, or my only year as vice president with the transition. She was a great person to have alongside the other persons on this call, planning out our conferences and making sure I'm staying on task and stuff. I get off track. Omar knows it too. But yeah, Symone Robinson, 2023 graduate of Florida A&M University.
Yes.
And now, where are you working?
I'm working at Jacobs, which is a engineering consulting firm. I'm a project engineer working in aviation.
Oh, where are you located right now?
I'm located in Jacksonville, Florida.
What they say in FAMU? Duval.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. That's good. This is the first time Simone and I got to catch up in a while, so I'm glad this is an excuse to give her an interview for my podcast. But yeah, we're gonna kick it off with an icebreaker because that's one thing Nesby has taught me. You always gotta start with an icebreaker. Every meeting and every event, you gotta start with it, especially in corporate. We gotta do that. Um, so I got a question right here. I didn't put on the little document prior, but um, let's see. I got a few here I can pick from. All right, what are five things that make you happy?
This is so.
What are five things? See, that's why I didn't want to. That's why they're going to give it to you
I'm thinking
prior.
usually icebreakers are something, easy or something like that.
It's easy.
It
It's
is
kind of
easy. I wasn't prepared for it. Five things that make me happy.
can either be all the above, sleeping, eating, anything,
Anything,
shopping,
anything.
anything.
Five things that make me happy. My family, getting to
Mm.
see my family, spend time with my family, getting my hair done. I got a hair appointment coming up. It's just something therapeutic about getting my hair done.
Hmm.
Good food. I love good food, love going out to eat. Making my little aesthetic videos. That makes me happy. I love doing stuff like that, make my little reels, little TikToks or whatever. And and then the last thing that makes me happy, dance.
I'm surprised you didn't say traveling.
Traveling, it depends. It depends on the occasion. Because sometimes I'm traveling for business. Sometimes I'm traveling just to see family. But if it's traveling for a vacation just to do nothing, then yeah, I'm very happy.
I got you. Yeah, you've been traveling a lot since you got out the jam from school.
Yeah, post grad
So
life.
yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to. I just got through training for my job, so I'm
It's
just now
coming.
getting to work. But yeah, I'm
It's
saving
coming.
up those PTO days for a rainy day or
As
rainy.
you should.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
soon as some 90 days up, it's time to travel.
But yeah, we're gonna jump right into this interview. So as you know, I gave you an overview. This is a podcast dedicated to leadership and passing on knowledge, making more tangible resource for people who either want to get in leadership or want to further develop their leadership skills. So yeah, I thought you'd be a perfect person to talk to. So we're gonna dive right into it. But first, we're gonna dive into a little background of what about you, because that's one thing people forget about. Is like behind the leader, there's a person, and
Yeah.
that person is what makes the leader, who goes home, who pays the bills at the crib, and whatnot. Like, what makes you you? Like, where you from, and like, what'd you major in when you were at FAM?
I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I majored in civil engineering at FAMU.
Civil engineering. What made you choose civil engineering?
What made me choose civil engineering? I originally thought I was gonna do chemical engineering, but then I saw that curriculum. I was like, look at that. I don't want to do organic chemistry, none of that. So then I just thought about like, what am I like really passionate about? What I really like? My grandfather and my uncle, they were architects. So I was in the architecture, but I was like, not so much of the design aspect, but I want to be a part of like more of the civil side to it. So that's like everything outside of the building. So that's what led me to choose civil engineering.
Man, was FAMU your first choice?
It actually wasn't.
What was your first choice? Like, what were the, how many schools did you get into when you applied senior year?
I got into, so I went to high school up north. So of course I got into all the schools up north, like University of Kentucky, University of Louisville, and a lot of other schools too. But I really originally wanted to go to Florida State.
Oh, wow. I mean, regardless, you're going to be at the
That's what I got
engineering
in.
school. But like, why Florida State over, or like, what was the final decision to go to FAM? I guess that would be the better question to ask.
My family,
Hmm.
honestly, because I like deep down, I always knew I wanted to go to HBCU, so I did apply to FAMU, but I was like, Florida State, it's just a bigger school. But then I was like, no, deep down, I knew I wanted to go to the HBCU. Like I always loved like HBCU bands, the dancers, the culture, and everything. And then I had a lot of family members that attended FAMU as well, so that persuaded me. And then of course I made the dance team. I got into the engineering program, so I was like, yeah, this is the school for me.
Oh man. Who in your family went to FAM? Because my stepmom went to FAM, and I remember I was
Oh,
asking her, I was like, "Am I considered a second gen rattler or
yeah,
what?" She got mad at
associate,
me,
yeah.
but yeah, who in your family went to FAM?
My two older cousins went to FAMU, so yeah,
That's lit. That's lit.
yeah.
But we already
I was
said where
also,
you. What's
oh,
up?
sorry. I was
No,
also
no,
at
no.
FAMU the same time as like three of my other cousins, so it's like I already have family there
Oh,
too.
that's
So
lit.
yeah,
Yeah,
gotta keep.
I have a cousin. He's a freshman, so he's moving in next week, I believe. Next week of the recording of this, just to give context. Next week of the recording of this. So yeah, he's majoring in business. I forgot what specific concentration, but he was down at Tallahassee for homecoming. He hung out with me at the game and at the Greek Step Show as well.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that
he had a good time. He had a good time.
that definitely got him.
Well, like
Homecoming.
that's the thing. I don't know what it is about like people from FAMU. We just get that energy to like once you pick the school, you just want to stick with it. And like he was like that prior to coming to FAMU, but that's a story for another time right now. But
You're gonna have the time of your life at FAMU.
yeah, even though I was only there for about 3 years, I still had a good time. I transferred in and stuff. But so you said your current role. Can you repeat your current role one more time at your
Um,
company?
yeah, I'm a project engineer working in aviation.
Ooh, aviation. So what's your like day-to-day life like?
So day to day, it's pretty much the same as what like a typical civil engineer would do as far as like site civil. But only difference is I'm working on airports. So like runways, taxiways, the boarding bridges, everything related to aviation. That's what I'm doing. So day to day, I may be doing like some design work or more administrative work. But yeah.
That's dope. Was that your intended role when you applied for companies?
Not at all.
What was the other role you were looking for? And like how'd you end up with that role?
That's a good question. So I typically like with civil engineering and like what my previous like internships were in, it was in transportation. So I'm thinking I'm gonna work like roads, highways, bridges, because they told me the role was just strictly transportation. That's all I had. But aviation is also part of transportation, and there's just more work available in aviation than transportation. So I got moved to that group. So that's how I got into aviation.
Got
I'm
you.
glad I did because like it's so cool. Like I never thought I'd be doing this.
Do you feel like your the skills you learned at FAMU transferred over to your corporate life?
Yeah, I say at FAMU, definitely I learned like the technical skills as far as like everything math related, geotechnical engineering related. Engineering economics also plays a big role in what I do as far as like quantity takeoffs and budgeting for projects. I would also say the more technical classes, like those civil 3D classes, that was very key because I'm constantly using civil 3D. And then also like taking on like leadership roles. So it's just like, yeah, the academics prepared me for what I do technically on the job, but then being a leader prepared me like people skill wise, like how to talk to people, how to do presentations, like all that stuff I'm still currently doing at my new job.
Yeah, that's what I always tell people because believe it
Yeah.
or not, I wasn't that social when I first got the fam because it was
I can believe
2021, spring
that.
20, yeah, so spring 2021, I was still in my community college, all the classes were virtual. Didn't really have that in-person interaction except for, people I was living with, like my parents, my grandparent, and my grandmother. So it's like I wasn't really getting a wider audience of people. So I was in social studies, it was like, huh, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know how to start conversation. So
That's a
like,
big transition coming out of COVID.
yeah, yeah, and like, I don't know. I was always that social person in high school. I'm a very social person now. Can attest to that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
very,
Nesby
very.
and just the various involvement helped me not just grow professionally, but as personally as well and socially, because I can help it professional as well. Everything kind of goes hand in hand. So
Yeah,
I always tell people like, do something within an organization or do something within your community, and like it'll build your social skills. But
absolutely.
I'm saying, speaking of organizations, what was the first organization you joined on FAMU's campus?
Um, Technically, it would be like the Venom Palm Squad, but as far
Hmm.
as like, academic orgs, it was NSB. I first joined the FAMU FSU chapter of NSB, attended one of the general body meetings and became a member. My sister always told me about NSB because she was involved in NSB at the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign, and I would see her go off to conferences for NSB. I was like, I want to be involved in NSB.
Yeah, I first heard about Nesby my freshman year of college.
Mhm.
Like I said, I was at community college at the time, but they didn't have a chapter. Closest chapter we had was University of Washington. This is when I lived in Seattle at the time.
Oh,
But I couldn't become a chapter member because I wasn't enrolled at the school. So I was like, when I transfer schools, whenever that would be, I'm going to join a chapter.
yeah.
So that's exactly what I did. As the first organization I joined when I got the fam. That was the first thing I followed. I started following the Nesby Instagram. I
Yep.
started following the national page, and I didn't know about like the different regions and stuff until like a year later, year and a half later. Um, but what were the various leadership positions you held within? Actually, this is a better question to ask. What other organizations were you a part of at FAM?
So I was a part of a lot of organizations, but as far as the ones that I had leadership like roles in, definitely Nesby. Wait, I'm sorry, one more time. Can you repeat the question? You said just the role
Oh,
or like,
my fault. Before we go into like the roles of organizations, but
okay, I'm sorry.
what organizations were you a part of?
Okay. I was a part of FAMU FSU NSB. I was also a part of the FAMU section of NCNW, which is the National Council of Negro Women. Was also a part of the Chicago Club at FAMU because I'm from Chicago. I wanted to get around more people
Yes,
that
they really
were
had.
from
It's
Chicago.
the fact they had clubs for every city. That's
It's a
ridiculous.
club for everything. There's even a Jacksonville club. I'm like, all y'all from Florida, y'all all know each
They got
other.
There's
a
a
they got an Orlando club too.
Orlando
I
club,
heard about
Miami
that
club,
before I
Broward
left.
club,
DMV
Al-
club.
But Tri-State Club, you know what I'm saying?
Alabama club, Atlanta
Pennsylvania.
club. Like
Oh yeah,
it's
ATL.
Club.
everywhere.
And then
Like
for like the West people from the West Coast, they just said West Coast Club, even though majority of them were like from California, because
Yeah.
not too many people are from Seattle or Oregon
they even had
or
an
Washington State.
Ohio club.
Hey man, all right. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? They do have a club for almost pretty much everything. So I tell a lot of people, you like to sing? We got groups for that. You wanna play in the
Gospel.
band? You know what I'm saying? You can join the marching 100 or even a concert choir. Go ahead. If you want to do sports, we got intramurals. You want to be a part of the cheer squad, or you want to just be like a
A
hype man in the student
dancer.
section, or just a dancer? We got stuff for that. Even the dance troops, you know what I'm saying? We got all
Oh
that.
yeah, they took over FAMU.
Yeah. And I was actually surprised about how many people I met from the Midwest, Chicago alone. And then I think Chicago and
Wow.
then various parts of
Chicago.
Michigan, mainly like Detroit and Grand Rapids. But
I know a lot of people from Detroit at FAMU too.
yeah, there was a good amount of people because I remember I was in some group chats. I saw the 313. I was like, I know that number. I know the area code. If y'all get the reference, y'all get the reference. But going back to actually, this can go into the next question. How important is it to look out for people who are from the same city slash area you grew up in? Because you were president of Chicago Club, am I correct?
Yes, correct.
So how important was your presidency and like making sure people from your city were all good while they were at FAM?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, I'd say it's very important to look out for people who share that same background as you because we have those shared experiences and relatability. I view them like family, so that naturally motivates me to support them. So what I did as a president, it can be very hard for students that are coming out of state because out of state tuition costs
Yes,
are
it
crazy. And it's just like
Outrageous.
it's a
It
lot to deal
is.
with financial aid at FAMU. And this is to touch on that as a leader and for Chicago Club president, I'm constantly, every single meeting, I'm telling them about scholarships and internship opportunities that are specific for Chicago students. So that way, they're getting that scholarship money to help bring down their balance. There's a lot of faculty that are also from Chicago that love to help students out as well. In addition to that, like you really just look out for people that are from your city. Like for instance, I was at a point with the Chicago Club where I couldn't find an advisor, but I knew another faculty member that was also from Chicago, and she ended up being our advisor, and she's still the advisor. So that we're able to keep the Chicago Club going. So it's very important to look out for people from your city.
Man,
Amen.
man. And then ending your presidency, every
Mhm.
president, every leader has to pass on the torch.
Yeah.
So how was the transition, or like what pieces of advice did you pass on to the next president who took over the club while you were after, like, you know what I'm saying, like while you're finishing up school?
Yeah, so definitely got to pass that torch, and it's very important who you pass the torch to. So when it comes to presidents, I know it's different for every single organization, like whether they, are chosen or they're voted in. For me, because this is more, I don't know, it's more sentimental club because we're fostering a community, right? And we're trying to bring that sense of home at FAMU. So I was like, I really need somebody that's dedicated. So I really prefer people that express interest, right? So they say like, hey, I want to be president next year. I was like, you got it, because I know you already want this position. I know you want this position. I know you want to do it. I got you. So then from there, and I kind of took this from Nesby too. I always do a transition report. So
Mm.
any position that I'm in, I'm always typing a transition report for the next person to follow. So that's giving them the purpose of this, everything that you're supposed to do, and then here's how I did it. So how I ran meetings, how I planned things, that was all what I gave to, and then also spreading that contact information, all those passwords and everything's just all in one place for them to get it. So that's how I did it for passing the torch to my next president.
That's good. Yeah, passing that torch is very important because you don't want to that organ not the you don't want the organization to crumble in a way, but we want to make sure what you did was passed on. So
Mhm.
make sure that stability that was there can stay there, and they can just, you know what I'm saying, build on top of it.
Keeping
Yeah.
that order and that structure,
Yeah.
that's the key to running things.
Yeah, consistency too. Just stay at it. I forgot who said it, but they said as long as you're showing up, you're doing part of the job. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? As long as you're showing face.
That's the first part.
Yeah. So while you were president, you were also serving as senator for for the Nesby chapter at our school. How'd you handle the balance of both organizations?
Man, I don't know how I did it. I really don't know how I did it, but holding two positions was very difficult because on top of that, I'm also taking 5 to 6 classes. I'm working part-time every week. So I balance both organizations by planning meetings in advance. Like, so for instance, with Nesby, I know our meetings are always on Thursdays. So it's just like nothing on Thursdays. Everything on Thursdays dedicated to, school and Nesby. And then I'm preparing that calendar and planning ahead so that I'm not overlapping any general body meetings or any executive board meetings for either org. I'm doing as much planning for events as well as the conference way in advance. I also delegated tasks to my partners and VPs to not overwhelm myself because it's okay to ask for help. And also delegate responsibilities to other people that are on your team, right? Because it's just not just one person on an executive board, it's multiple people. And I think that teaches you, how to work in a team setting as well. And not just, it's okay to be a leader, but leaders can also delegate tasks to other people. So yeah.
Yeah, that was my first NSBE conference that I went to, FRC 2022.
Or that I planned.
That was my first one that I went to, and I didn't really know what to expect. I was just kind of sitting on the back seat, just like taking a
Yeah.
ride or enjoying a ride or whatever. And then nationals as well. I remember I never forget you and
That was
Omar.
my first FRC too.
Oh yeah, I never forget
Look,
NSBE 49. Oh, is it spring 23? As soon as we got to Kansas City, you and Omar were like, all right, I got y'all here. Now be safe. Don't do
please
anything.
don't let me get in trouble. Don't get in trouble. Do not call my
said-
phone from the hospital or the police department because I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Hey, look,
Yeah.
I got y'all here. My job is done.
Yeah,
Yep.
y'all
I
definitely.
will see y'all on the day we're leaving.
Yeah, and I remember, I think it was a Monday after we got back from FRC because they said originally early bird race was closed that day, but they extended it to the end of the month. I remember Symone, I think Norma was in there too, and Shamar. Y'all already planning it out. I'm like, go ahead. I was like, go ahead.
We plan ahead.
Man, you asked me for opinions. I said, hey, if you're good with it, I'm good with it. 'Cause I didn't know a single thing about conference planning or anything.
It takes a lot.
But like, what's something you would share to someone who's either a conference planning chair for their organization or they're pursuing to become a senator? Because I know being a senator is beyond just conference planning, which I learned that last year.
We learned that at national.
Yeah, I learned
Man.
that. I learned that like it was a big learning experience for all of us. Because even at like
I didn't even know
FRC,
that.
they had meetings for the presidents and vice presidents and stuff. I remember you told me that, Symone, which I'm glad you did. You're like, are you ready for your responsibilities being president, vice president? I'm like, what do you mean responsibilities? Like, y'all got meetings. I was like, we do. And then y'all learned at nationals, y'all have meetings. But like, what's advice you would give we'll start with the conference planning part first. Like, what's advice you would give to people who are pursuing that position or are currently in that position trying to figure out what to do?
Anything conference planning, pageant planning, or just planning in general, my advice is to start as early as possible. Once you have a date, you need to start planning. And you need to plan out months in advance because you never know how long it's going to take to get funding, how long it's going to take. Like, as far as conference planning, you have to start ahead. Let me start there. So with conference planning, you need to start as early as possible so you can start getting your funding and start, tallying up how many people are going to go. Because then that's based on how you're going to do your hotel and your transportation based on how many people are going to go. And then you also need funding for that. And then you need to organize all of that. And then if you want to do something nice for your chapter, like for us, I think we got a party bus. We got the party bus and then organizing like fun things to do. So that also comes after planning. Like, okay, once you get all this stuff out the way, stop laughing.
I'm laughing because Omar is laughing.
So yes, it was a party bus. It was a party bus. On the record, it was a party bus. It was nothing else I could do. Everything was taken up. There was no buses I could have rented.
Ubers would have been expensive for 50 of us.
And we had a lot of kids who were not 21. So renting a car is already expensive for somebody who's 21.
The charter bus just wouldn't have been reasonable either because charter bus is just location to one location. That's it. Versus you get a party bus, you can stop at
multiple locations. Yeah.
And that's just one set price. And then everybody can fit on the bus.
It was raw in the back holding the luggage though.
Bruh, I was the biggest person on the bus. I had to do some. I had to make my time useful while I was there. Do my presidential duties besides, making sure everybody's organized. Feel me?
It takes a lot of logistics to plan. Because I was like, yeah, we need a bus. But I was like, dang, where's everybody's luggage going to go?
Yeah. We figured it out though. It worked in the end. You know what I'm saying?
It's my favorite for sure. But I saw like the pictures of the bus. I was like, yeah, it could work. It could work. I'm like, I'm on the phone. I'm calling the guy. What's the dimensions of the bus? Doing calculations to see if everything could fit. Like, it might work. It might work.
Well, these Tetris, I'm
No,
glad I played Tetris as a kid.
yeah,
And
because
y'all, we all
Omar,
engineers, we got it figured out.
yeah, Omar was back there. I think Omar and Norman were back there moving stuff around, making sure everything fits right. I mean, no one got hit in the head, no one got hurt or anything, which was good.
Yeah,
But it was just a matter of like the stuff staying there and whatnot. But
because
yeah.
if they got hit, I ain't got no insurance.
But
But
back
you
to
have
the
to
subject at
plan.
hand. Well, go ahead, my fault.
Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
No, I was gonna say back to subject at hand about the
Yeah,
organization.
back to the subject at hand. You just have to plan ahead so that way you have more time to figure out everything that you need. And then if anything, unexpected comes your way, you're like, okay, well, at least I have the hardest stuff out the way. So I say plan ahead as far as you can. Be very organized. Do your due diligence, right? Call the hotels, call the transportation companies, stay in contact with the most important people that are, over planning the conference. I think I emailed the secretary for NSB and all the other people that are on, the regional boards and national boards for NSB so many times. Like, got to make sure that information is right. So do your due diligence and just plan ahead and you'll be fine.
And sometimes Google reviews do work.
Reviews, yeah.
All right, and to the next one, or next part of the question. Being
Okay.
a senator of NSB.
Yeah.
Please briefly share your experience, your learning experience at the conference, and what people should look out for, and like what are some do's and don'ts.
All right. So my NSB experience as senator, once I got to the conference, correct?
Yeah, at nationals.
Um, my experience was a little stressful because that was the first time going to a conference holding such an executive position like that. Because for people that are admin zone for NSB, they have more meetings to attend, and I didn't know that part because I'm used to going to conference, like networking with people, going to the career fair, going to all the workshops. I didn't have time to do any of that. I had to schedule my interviews around the senator meetings, and no one told me the senator meetings last literally all day.
All
Like,
day.
we was there from like 12. No, we was there from
What
like
was it?
8,
8.
9 o'clock in the morning to almost
8.
4 o'clock. I'm like, how am I gonna get to my interview?
By the time I got back to the hotel, my foot cramped up, everything. I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't even want to
You're
go
just
nowhere.
exhausted, but you're exhausted, but it's for a good cause because we have the responsibility and the privilege to select the next NSB national candidates, but you have to sit there and listen to every single candidate one by one by one by one by one. And then we get like a little small break. So during that very brief break, I had to run through the convention center and try to get my interview in.
Yeah, it was a big convention center.
Huge.
It
I
was
don't know how you would have done it this year, if I'm being honest, because we were at
in Atlanta.
yeah, we were in Atlanta. That was a bigger convention center, I want to say.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, that's one thing. So as far as do's and don'ts, I would say do make sure you get like a thorough description of what's required of you once you actually get to the conference. Because that's one thing I forgot to ask the previous senator. They was like, "Oh yeah, you're just gonna be in a meeting." To me, a meeting is 1 to 2 hours. That
3
wasn't a
max.
that was not a meeting. All love to Nesby. I was happy hearing everybody's presentations. And I even saw like I even met like more people from Nesby, just making friends with people because you're there for a long time. And then seeing old friends too. Like I've seen people that I had internships with, and I know people from other Nesby chapters. Like we're trying to make the most of this time. But
Question.
do ask thoroughly ask questions about the position and the responsibilities. I would say another do is do your best because sometimes you may have unexpected challenges, and always talk to, I say faculty too. So like 3, that'd be, talk to faculty because usually we typically have an advisor for conferences. I know for the Atlanta conference, our advisor was, I'm tripping up on names right now. What is his
Was
name?
it Mr. McGill?
Mr. McGill, yes. And talk to Mr. McGill, because stay in constant communication with the advisor, because that'll help you throughout the process too. Because he told me some things that I never knew. Like there's been like a bunch of accidents on conferences. Unfortunately, people got harmed. So just be very mindful, just be very careful, and just do your best and get as much information as you can going ahead so you can plan thoroughly. But then my fourth do would be also, make sure you enjoy the conference yourself too. Like make time where you can. If you can't make it to workshops, typically at the conference, they'll have like other after hours or like happy hour, like events for you to attend and, still try to get your networking in. And that's what I did. I didn't get to go to daytime workshops, but like anything at the evening where they had like little happy hours and stuff like that, I was there.
Yeah, I know the
Make the most of
companies,
it.
they had like brunches and like
Yeah.
breakfasts,
I went to the
events
Hospitality
going on, and
suites.
definitely a lot of hospitality suites.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say,
At
not
both
the happy hours,
conferences.
but the hospitality
Yeah,
suite.
yeah, yeah. We
Correct,
got what you
correct.
meant. Like, that's technically after hours because some of the
Mhm.
hospitality suites were after, the conference, like the traditional conference day
The
ended.
convention.
So, yeah.
Yeah, air quote.
Yeah, I mean, like traditional, I don't want to say like the conference day, but like the traditional conference day, because I think everything ended around like 8 or 9 o'clock, and hospitality suites from
Right.
like 9:30
Before
to
then.
10:30. You know what I'm
Before
saying?
then.
Okay, I'll say, yeah, when the workshops are
That's the
done,
best
Six,
time. That's the
seven.
best time to go. I
yeah,
end up seeing the CEO for the company that I work for now. I end up seeing the recruitment chair for the recruitment team I'm a part of now. So the after hours, the hospitality suites, it's a must go. It's a must. I met a
yeah,
lot of important people that I still talk to at work like this to this day.
man. Yeah, I remember. So a quick backstory before we dive into. We're actually going to talk about corporate next. So I learned about the company I work for now, which is Micron Technology. I heard about them for the first time last year at the NESB conference,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, they make silicon chips, semiconductors. Apple, Samsung, and various other companies are their customers and stuff." I'm like, "Oh, that's really cool." But I already had an offer at the time for an internship for the summer. I was going to try to pursue it.
Mhm.
But I was like, I'll wait on it. And now, full circle moment, I'm working for the company, which is really good.
That's
I met a,
amazing.
yeah, I met him at the well, I reconnected with him at the FAMU Career Fair this
Mhm.
past spring, and had a good talk with the people who were there. They helped me get an interview set up, and
Ooh.
now I'm about 2.5 months in, 12 weeks in, 11 weeks.
How
Yeah.
let me ask, how is that? How are you liking your
Yeah.
new
How are you adjusting to corporate life?
Um, it's been it's definitely been an adjustment, which I was gonna ask you the same question, but I guess I'll
Is
answer
it
it
improved?
first. So
lead the way?
it definitely was different because I was so used to traditional, classes at different times of the day, but now everything is the same time, 5 days a week. Some people worked about 4 days a week because they worked 12-hour shifts, but me,
Mhm.
I worked a traditional, 8-hour shift. I say traditional because that's how most jobs are, but it
Yeah.
definitely was different. I've been doing training the past 11 weeks because my job is basically keeping the whole facility running that produces the silicon chips. I work on the IT side of things, on the software. So we support all the software that's used in the lab from tracking the chips, making sure they're going to the right places, making sure the scheduling is correct,
Oh,
making
wow.
sure the execution is proper too, because those wafers will get stuck in those machines. I've heard many stories about it. I haven't seen it firsthand because I don't work in that part of the building. I work in my little cubicle at my desk, and that's
Mhm.
it. I'm just now getting to my first set of projects, but I got a car now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my first car, you know what I'm saying? I live with my cousins down in we're in Virginia. I work 30 minutes from the office. Sometimes it's 40 minutes depending on the traffic, but I don't know, it's been different
It
from
is.
school because like I'm so used to seeing, well, I see the same people every day, but I'm so used
Right.
to seeing like different set of people every day, but now it's like same exact people every day, which I'm cool with. Like people I met at my orientation, we eat lunch together and whatnot.
Okay.
Um, it was definitely kind of hard to find time to like work out and stuff because I get tired after work. Took a nap right before this interview,
That's
actually.
real. That's real.
I skipped the gym today because I'm doing 3 days a week for the stuff I'm doing. So I had to cut it back a little bit so I'm not as tired. But I had to find balance in everything, even with eating right again, because I don't want to put on, I don't know if there's a corporate 15 or like, similar to freshman
No.
15. I was trying to put on that
You're
corporate
trying to say
15.
like freshman 15?
I almost said freshman 15, but like the corporate I don't know,
No,
Yeah,
corporate
because you
song.
don't feel like
I don't know.
no,
cooking.
it's old man way.
Right, I'm
It's
gonna
called
order
Oh.
old
food.
man.
If I don't feel
Like,
like cooking, I'm ordering food.
but yeah, other than
I'm
that,
cooking. No, I can't.
it
Can't do
definitely
it.
saves money. I can't order out every day because that's
Tallahassee
$20,
messed me up.
$25. No.
Tallahassee ordering out, going out to eat. Tallahassee messed my stomach up. I can't do it no more. Cooking at home. And you're right. Saves you money too.
It does, it does.
Yeah, but in all honesty, if you ask me this question again around December, January time, I have a better answer because now I'm done training. I'm transitioning to
Because you're like
projects.
3 to 4 months in, you said?
Yeah, I started June 3rd.
June.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I started June 3rd, and I'm about to be on call because, IT got to be on call and whatnot, make sure everything's running properly. So I started being on call on Monday, actually.
Now that's another schedule adjustment.
Yes. Luckily for right now, I'm daytime on call for the next
Okay.
few weeks or so. Eventually I'll get transitioned to nighttime call, which will mean like whatever I'm doing, I get a page. I gotta stop whatever I'm doing.
You're gonna hate those 3 a.m. calls. I'll be getting them. You're gonna hate them 12 p.m.
But
call 12 a.m. calls. I
Me,
get them.
I got a hard
yeah.
stop at 5:30.
No,
Oh.
I gotta. It's 24/7. My work phone gets ring. I gotta pick up, check it, see what's going
Dang.
on. I can
Yeah.
be
Dang,
knocked out sleep.
Yeah, I just requested a work phone just so I can like keep everything separate. Cause like let's say I'm on the phone with my dad or something, and all of a sudden I'm getting page after page after page. I get to like, what I'm saying, put someone on hold on my actual phone in case it takes like 2 seconds or whatever. And because of storage as well.
Yeah.
Because phone storage is
Get that
expensive.
separation.
But yeah, that's like my overview. It's kind of general, but yeah, Symone, work-life balance
Work-life
in the
balance.
corporate world. You've been working since January?
Yeah, January.
January, so we're about 7 months, a little over 7 months in.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait.
how was that first 90 days for you? Because first 90 days is always like the bumpiest. Is bumpiest even a word? I'll say the
Bumpiest.
most, yeah,
Rough part.
the most bumpy roads. There we go. The most
I
bumpy, rough roads.
I would say so for me, it was a little bit different. So I graduated in December, of course, started in January, but prior to that, I was already an intern at the company with another team. So I pretty much already knew like the company structure. I pretty much already knew the company culture and what to expect as far as like working, like the order and structure of what my day to day would be like. The only difference would be instead of me working remote, because I was a remote intern, now I'm in the office every day. So that was my first time in a Jacobs office. My team they're very welcoming, still very welcoming. Um, it wasn't bad. My first 90 days wasn't bad at all. In my first 90 days, my manager, we really connected. She saw a lot of potential in me. She gave me a leadership position. And then also like within like my first month at Jacobs, I was also like networking with other careers networks, we have plenty employee networks like the careers network. Then we have Harambe, which is our Black employee network. So I'm networking with all these groups and these people, and I end up getting a recruiting opportunity. So like within like my first 3 or 4 weeks of working, I was already like back at school recruiting for Jacob. So that was really fun. So my first 90 days was just information overload, acronym overload. Every day is a new acronym. Trying to, just really learn the ropes of everything. So I was just taking in a lot of information my first 90 days and getting to know my team, my manager, and then other coworkers that are within like other departments as well. And just getting adjusted to like, I really got to get up every day, 8 to 5.
Yeah, no putting snooze saying I'll just catch up on the notes later. It's
No, I gotta
work.
get everything down. Versus
I'm
like
so
college, she like, okay, got got to 11:59 to get that done. No, we're on a strict time schedule.
Yeah, strict time schedule. 1 hour lunch. All right, we got to get back to
After
work.
work.
We gotta finish what we started.
But yeah, my first 90
No,
days was really good. Really, really good.
Yeah, because I remember you were there recruiting,
Yeah.
and it was a nice reunion with some of the people who graduated. Because both in the fall and the spring, there were people there like you, Raekwon, Jeremy.
Mhm.
Jeremy, I remember he texted me. He's like, "Send your best chemies my way." I was like, "Does this mean you're coming to recruit?" He's like, "Yes, sir. I fly out." And then he sent me the date when he was flying out. I was like, "Oh snap!" Because Jeremy was actually one of the first people I met in SB at the
Right.
engineering school. We met in person because he took me to one of the social events. I think it was
Oh,
like
I didn't even
painting a
know
park.
that.
It was like painting a park, I believe. Yeah, he gave me a ride, and after that, we just been kind of cool since. But yeah, it was a nice reunion. Veronica, and then I remember some more people were there, but I didn't get to run into them. So it was great to see, not just great to see y'all, but great to see like y'all were want to come back and give a hand with
Oh yeah.
helping us out and just showing representation from our school. So
Okay.
that was great. Let's see.
Very, very proud moment.
So this kind of answered this already earlier, but
Mhm.
stress management and time management.
Yeah.
How did you manage, stress related to work and ensure it didn't have a negative impact on your personal life?
Yeah. One thing as an engineer, academically, and then going into the professional world, the stress, it doesn't stop. It doesn't end. Not to say it doesn't get better, but it's just like you have a hard job
Yeah, it
and
definitely gets better because you have I guess you have
yeah,
more of a handle on
yeah,
stuff because
for sure.
everything's consistent now, like I said earlier. But yeah, how do you manage it to make sure it didn't negatively impact your personal life outside of work?
I would say as far as like managing my stress, it's best to have a mentor that's in the same industry as you. And if you're really lucky, like a mentor, a trusted mentor, like within the same company as you, like that's the person that I go to, like to vent, to get guidance, to get that help and assistance from. It's like I'd much rather talk to her so that way, like we're already talking at work because we met through work. Like we meet each other, like I say, like every other month or so. Like, or if I'm in a crisis, like I'm calling my mentor. I gotta talk to her. I gotta get
Yeah.
this off my chest. I gotta figure out what I need to do to solve this problem. I just really need that guidance from her. So I say having a corporate mentor is definitely key with managing stress at work. I love that about Jacobs too, because we had that Harambe network. So it's not just my mentors, it's like anybody in Harambe, like I could reach out to them, I could talk to them about anything. And it's like within the workspace, right? So when I say that, I mean like people that, I work with, so they get it versus like people in your personal life, they may not get it, they
Yeah.
be able to give you like that specific advice on what to do that might be more general, like, oh, you'll be fine. No, I need to know what to do. So I need to reach out to people that get it and that are in that same space as me. So that helps with my stress at work, having
Yeah.
that event too.
Yeah, speaking of mentorship, they just started a mentorship employee resource group at my company, and we get to so they literally just started probably like 2 months ago. 2 months ago, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks after I started, they sent out an email. They said, "Hey, we're looking for mentors, looking for mentees." I said, "Perfect," because my dad was like, "When you get there, make sure you get a mentor." Because I had a mentor when I was interning at Apple. I think I had about 2 3 mentors because it was just people reaching out wanting to help me out with the adjustment, but that's what I was saying. I signed up for it. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be good for my adjustment because I'm still in my first year, and I want to make sure whether it's someone on my team or whether it's someone outside of my team, because most people that are there have been there for like 5 10 plus years, which is perfect. Because me, I just got here, so you know what I'm saying. It's always good. But I also got involved with the employee resource groups at my company as well, like Employee Network or Ben for short. It's kind of
Okay.
funny. Yeah, so it was I definitely, well, you already know I like being social and I want to make sure I was social within the workplace.
Yeah.
So I've gone to a few of their events. They had like a cookout for Juneteenth. They hosted they booked a tour for the African American History Museum in DC.
A
And
fun event.
yeah, and then we just recently did a volunteering event at the Boys and Girls Club with
Oh
this
yeah.
nonprofit called Barbershop Books, which Barbershop Books, um, one, because barbershop, that's where everybody talks, but they wanted to make it more productive. You know what I'm saying? Talking about books and like reading literacy for younger students, specifically younger Black students. So make sure we're keeping our literacy rates up. And best way to get it is early. But yeah,
Wow.
it's very important if you're joining a company. This is for viewers, whoever's watching the video. If you're joining a company and you want to be social, you just want to get involved, it's more than just a job. I'll say that. It's more than just a job, which a lot of people emphasize, even people on my team. Because we even have like tea time. We have tea time. We had tea time today. We go play table tennis. I
Really?
lost. Yeah, I lost today. But we played table tennis. But it's very important because not only are you contributing to the overall productivity of the company, but who knows, you might have made someone's day. Because
Yeah.
like just like when we're talking about that work stress, you might have
Yeah.
helped someone out by making them laugh or even just showing up to their event.
You're fostering that connection, and then you're getting to know each other more the more that you go out and do things. Like we do community service events, and then we'll also do like little happy hours and things like that as well. And that eases the work stress also.
Yeah.
Getting out of the office, knowing it's more to work.
Yeah, because
It's
like
more to
the
life.
yeah, because like the people, well, one, my director of my department, he's actually one of the heads of the Black Employee Network. So I know
Okay.
he's already stressed as is. On top of that, he has a family. He's directing the IT department. He's also, the head of not just our site, but like he's a leader in the world as well with all the different sites we have around the world. So we have to communicate with them as well.
Yeah,
So definitely, yeah, that's
that's a lot to
probably made their
balance.
day. Yeah, we make like even not just him, but some other people, they've been there for 10 years and they have like not necessarily senior level roles, but they have like management level roles where they're head of projects and whatnot. So,
Yeah.
going to these events, it's fun. It's fun for me because I like helping people out. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, make sure you get involved, not just in workplace, but also in school as well.
Yes,
Yes, we're there for academics.
we are.
Yes, we're there to get a degree. Yes, we're there to get internship opportunities and whatnot, but
Also
get
there to
that
find yourself.
also there to find yourself, which finding yourself can mean joining organizations. And like we said earlier, there's going to be an organization for you. If you don't like any of the organizations, go to the interest meetings, and then eventually you're going to find some sort of interest where you like some sort of crevice, and they're just going to fit in wherever. But yeah, that's like a little tangent. But I thought it was very important to touch on.
For sure.
Um, what role does we kind of talked about it already. What role does your employer or organizations you're a part of within your company? What role do they play on supporting your work-life balance?
They play a tremendous role as far as the employee networks. Like with our Black Employee Network, of course, I can go to them for anything. um Anything that I'm dealing with, like whether it be professionally or personally, I know I can talk to them, so that helps me balance. In addition to that, I have a great company. Not to sell y'all on my company, but I have a great company. So like living in a different state, like if I want to go see my family, they're supportive of that. I'm able to work remote for a week if needed. They prioritize, mental health. We have a mental health champion in our office, so I can go to her if I'm having any issues as well, like within the office. Like if I can't reach my mentors or anybody from Harambe, like if I can't reach them, I know I have the mental health champion in my office. So really love that. And they care. They truly care about our well-being. When we say we have a culture of caring, we really mean that. Like
We love a company that does that.
they have a culture of
We love
caring.
it.
They're very flexible, very understanding, very progressive.
Yeah. Um, when you said like they're just a great community of people to be like help you support you. My director, going back to him, he
Uh-huh.
actually recently celebrated 40 years of working, and
Yeah.
he's seen about like 20 to 30 in management. And I
Wow.
asked him what kept him in it so long, he said, one, I wish I got into management earlier because of the benefits he got out of it for himself and as well as, the company as well. But he said, number one thing is surround yourself with a great team. That's why I was in it for so long, because even the people on the team been there for, like I said, 5 to 10 plus years, and they stuck around and they always say nothing but positive things about him during when we're even talking, like when he's not even in the room. Even when he's in the room, it stays the same with like the energy they have, which I really like. So yeah, I thought that was really, really good to touch on.
That longevity, that's a good sign. That's a good sign. If you've seen that there's been plenty of people in your company that have been there for years, that's a good sign.
Yeah, he actually started at IBM
Okay.
and he transitioned over to Micron. I forgot how he got into Micron, but yeah, he's been working there for a long time. And I always see him probably twice a week because directors are busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see him. We'll say, what's up, hi, all that, and keep pushing. Because most of the time he's on the way to a meeting.
Yeah.
I'm usually taking a break, walking around the building. So usually, I'm taking a break. He's still putting in work. But yeah, let's see, because he kind of answered some of the questions I had listed.
Um,
Um, I guess we can talk about this one. You didn't really go too much in.
mm,
Is working a full-time job while being involved in leadership roles within the company the same as being a full-time student and being involved on the campus? And like why or why not?
um, wait, are you saying is it the same
Yeah,
or
like is it the same or is there any differences? Because like we said earlier, those skills can transition over and the balance should be there regardless.
for sure, for sure. The skills definitely do transfer over. I say as far as it being the same, like I still kind of have like the same structure, right? So with being a part of employee networks. I'm a regional coordinator for our careers network. So I'm running meetings, I'm checking in with other people that are in my region. And I pretty much run those meetings like how I ran meetings to president of Chicago Club. Like we're on Microsoft. The only difference is we're just on Microsoft Teams, but the structure is there. The graphics of the presentation is there. It's the same. So the skill set's definitely the same in these leadership positions at work. Um, I would say the only difference is time, because when I'm doing these positions at work, obviously billable work comes first. So it's like I'm doing these meetings like really quick, like during lunch, then I
Yeah.
get back to work because billable work comes first before doing employee network
Hmm. Of
meetings. So
course.
it's definitely a difference in time. Like it's just real quick versus like, ooh, being on a campus like eBoard, I'm taking up a little bit more time because I'm running a meeting for 1 to 2 hours. I'm preparing for this meeting just like I'm doing like my homework like the night before. Like I can make a whole
Yeah,
presentation.
yeah, I got a presentation for senior design the next day.
Then I also
Senior
gotta
design day is coming up, all that.
exactly like I'm
And
I'm
that's
doing a lot
stressful.
of work.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like I'm promoting my meetings. Like anytime I see somebody, like, oh, you coming to the meeting tonight? Like I gotta interact, I gotta post, I gotta prepare for the meeting, then I gotta actually be in the meeting. Then after the meeting, people want to talk, people want to have conversations post meeting. Like it's a lot. So I say it's definitely a big difference in the time, but the skill set's still there. So yeah, that's the biggest difference.
Got you. Yeah, I definitely I don't know, they seem very parallel, but obviously parallel, you're on the same path, but it's different in a way because there's two
Yeah.
separate lines. But I just want to get out the way because some people join organizations because they want to get those early skills, early professional skills. Some
Absolutely.
people want to get it to build their social network and whatnot. Some people, just want to help the organizations, like, and then move
Yeah.
on after they're done with their position. Um,
And
yeah,
some people just truly care about that organization and just want to see it succeed.
yeah, that,
That's one thing I can say. Like when I'm taking leadership positions, because I'm solution oriented. So if I'm taking a leadership position, I'm okay. what can I do to help make this organization better? What can I do to improve and help us progress? How can we make this more effective? Like, how can we make sure this is running efficiently? So that's my reason as to why I take leadership positions. But in addition to that, it does look really good on your resume. Because I'm not even gonna lie to you. When I was in my interview and they're asking me, oh, what's your involvement like on campus? I'm telling them all my involvement, like they're picking up at your people skills, your leadership skills. So it helps. It helps prepare you for the professional world.
Yeah, and that's going back to my point said earlier, they want to build a more diverse community, not just for like, people's physical feature backgrounds, but also like their skills as well and their involvement. They want to pull from different things like, oh, you're involved in this organization. That's
Yeah.
perfect. We have someone that was involved in a similar organization over here. Maybe y'all could, collaborate and whatnot. Um, yeah. Like at first I was gonna take a year off from doing leadership stuff because I've literally doing leadership in SB since I got the fam. Like I don't know what I was thinking because 2 months in, 3 months in, they were like, "Hey, we're looking for e-board admin zone nominations and whatnot." Submit my application. Next thing you know, I'm program chair. I was like, "What did I just get myself into?" But I know I had a good experience, and I was playing my role with making sure the productivity was there, and we were progressing as the year went on. It was a little bumpy that first year on e-board because it was post COVID and we had low numbers for the meetings. Even if we had a virtual, it would still be kind of low numbers because everybody's still adjusting back to real life. But luckily, as years went on, we saw the numbers go up, which is part of the mission statement. But I'm not going to say it because we're going to have to stand increasing our numbers. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and then part of it, like I said earlier, is just showing up. Who
I'm waiting on the
knows?
Desi mission by heart.
Bro, I was so yeah, I'm in Virginia now. So I'm part of Region 2. And I recently just applied for the one of their e-board position for DC professionals.
Yeah.
So first I
Yeah.
was like late because I went to their gala back in July 4th, July 5th, July 6th, 4th of July weekend. And they were like, the president wanted me, he's like, you want to be on the e-board? We got nominations coming out. I said, nah, bro, I'm taking a year off. He's like, you know what? Nesby sabbaticals are necessary and
It
needed.
is. It's very
Yes.
necessary. I feel like after being senator and doing so much over my like doing, I did a lot during my time at FAMU. My mom was like, "You need to take a break for senior year." So that fall semester, I didn't do a single e-board position. I was completely hands off on everything come fall.
I wish I had that luxury.
Man, and then I saw they were looking for people for e-board. I'm not gonna say what position I applied for. I'll wait till it gets announced if I get it. But I applied for the positions and I was like, you know what? We're gonna keep the train going. I was like, you know what? I took a good 3 months off. It's a good 3 months off. I'm gonna post when I post my that I got the position, if I get the position, I'm gonna be like Michael Jordan, I'm back. I'm back. But yeah, I'm in Region 2 now. They had a little town hall yesterday.
Okay,
Felt
Region
weird.
2.
Felt weird not saying powerhouse anymore. We saying
Uh,
too hype. Like kind of get a too hype, and I was like, oh man,
Oh
this feels
man.
weird.
that
This
don't
feels
hit the
weird.
same.
It
Region
doesn't
five.
hit.
Look, Region 5
Oh,
right
that's
here.
right. That's
I'm
right.
Region 5.
What was it? Five deep? I forgot what it was.
5D.
Five deep. Yeah.
I'm still Region 3.
Yeah,
I
you still
wish
powerhouse.
Lucked
we
out.
had a professional chapter here, but
You don't have a personal chapter there?
not in Jacksonville, no.
Oh man.
No.
Yeah,
We'll
we
see.
have one up here.
We might make some things happen.
Who
Be on the
knows?
lookout in the future. We might make
You could be a trivia question in the future.
I'm
Uh,
screaming.
who
You
who
could be.
started the professional chapter of Region 3?
I could be the Chicago one.
And then speaking of Chicago, no, Nesby 51, so this year was the 50th convention. This
Yeah.
year is the 50th anniversary
Yeah.
because Chicago, what's it called? Chicago 6. I don't want to butcher the
Chicago.
nickname of the founders. They're from Chicago.
It's sick.
6. Yeah, it's Chicago 6.
Yes.
I want to make sure I was saying it right because there was, I don't know, there's different names for everything. So I want to make sure I got it right. I wish I had it pulled up right here, but this is kind of off script.
You met them.
I met 4 living founders, which was great experience because I was like, yo, I didn't say yo, but like in my head, I'm like, yo, I'm glad y'all started this organization because you know what I'm saying?
But
Because
it's
you got me
known
to where I'm at right now.
Back to that further point, he's very friendly.
Yeah. I made my way to the front to get my picture. And
like how?
because they were okay, so they were I think they were on stage with the CEO, Janine,
Mhm.
and they were doing a question, a Q&A or whatnot, and they invited people to like the front do Q&A. And
Right.
after I answered my question, I was like, yo, I need a picture with them. Me and the person I was sitting with, they were like, you want to get a picture? I said, yeah, I want to get a picture. So we ran over, we got a picture. I said thank you to all four of them, the four living founders,
Mhm.
and I went about my day. I was like,
That's
great
crazy.
time. That was I would say that's the highlight. That was the highlight of Nesby conference 40 Nesby
That was
49.
huge.
That was definitely a highlight. I'm gonna get it framed one day. You're like, yeah, I met the founders. But yeah,
You should. That's major.
that's no promotion. I love Nesby, but I'm just giving a shout out to where the next conference will be. Chicago, Illinois.
In
I
Four
think
Chicago.
it's
hours
at
away.
I think it's like end of February, beginning of March, I
Yeah.
believe. Um, I think it's that first
I'll,
week of March actually. I forgot the dates.
I'll
Mhm.
be there.
We'll be in attendance.
I signed up actually to go to the conferences or like, help out.
With your company.
Yeah, yeah. And then
Mhm.
if I make it to professional board, I'm definitely going to go. So, you know what I'm saying? I got to show face and
I know our
whatnot.
company, our deadline is like the end of this month. So I gotta submit something. But yeah, we gonna be there. We gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be
Well, we have
nice.
our meetings next week for us. So whenever Bowen say, hey, it's time to go. I'm hopping on that train 4 hours. I'm hopping on that train 4 hours waiting. I'm going right down to Chicago.
Yeah, I remember I asked people at the Black Employee Network, I was like, do y'all need any young talent to, help you recruit? Because, what better way to, connect with the college students as someone who just graduated? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That'll be a great way because, especially if I know the people, it'll be easier to kind of break the ice because I know them, I know what they're looking for, and I know how to put them in the right direction.
It's
But
very it's nice to see a familiar face too when you're out there like talking to recruiters because then they won't be like as nervous either.
yeah,
But that's different for like a national convention.
yeah, national
National.
So many
convention.
people.
It'll be a separate it'll be a separate episode talking about national convention. I'll probably do one when we get closer to it because there's some do's and don'ts for a career fair as well as the workshops. Make sure we're on time, schedule out stuff out right, like you said. Um, so closing out, no, we kind of went on a tangent in the long run, but it's supposed to be a conversation, which was good. Um,
Mhm.
and we all know each other, but is there
Yeah.
anything else you would like to share to the listener out there who is trying to find where they fit in? It can be general, be corporate, on campus, picking their school, all the above.
Ooh, that's a good question. For anyone trying to find themselves, I can speak on both. So as far as finding yourself, I say in college, like it's so hard. It's actually like two parts to this question because like in college, like you know what you want, like you're really figuring
Mm,
it out. Like it's so many things that are presented to you. So you're like, oh, okay, I can try to do this, I can try to do that, I can join this club, I can join that club. Like this is gonna help me, find out who I am, find out what I like. So definitely keep finding organizations to join and then do what you're afraid to do because I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not a public speaker. I'm
mm,
very introverted. I'm very shy, but I put myself out there and I'm like, I gotta figure out, I gotta find myself. I gotta figure out who I am. Like I need to get out there. So I stepped up and took a bigger leadership position when I became president of the Chicago Club because I was doing graphics for Nesby. I did the pageant for Nesby. So that was not like saying like it was small, but it's like it didn't really involve me like speaking in front of large crowds. And that's like something that makes me really, really nervous, like really anxious. So do something that you're afraid to do because it'll help you grow. It'll help you become better. It helped me become a better speaker. It helped me become a better presenter. I'm not afraid to, all right, let me go out there and present now. Like, it helps you grow as a person. So do what you're afraid to do. Don't be afraid to step up and be a leader when you're in college. That's all I got.
Yeah, I like how you said you felt not to like belittle like public relations as well as like when you were Miss Fam State.
Because every role is
It's still on the
important.
same, still on the same scale. It's very important, and I feel like people will go for positions. They'll go for the position title.
Yeah.
However, at the end of the day, that person in that position can't work without you doing this. Like, we need graphics. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Man.
can't do everything if I'm president of the organization. You can't do graphics all the time. You gotta like delegate it, like you said earlier. So like everybody plays a certain role, and I tell people that all the time. It's like a team, bro. You could be on the bench. You could be a six man. You could be averaging 5 to 10 points a game, 6 assists. You know, you're playing like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and you're helping the starter out because he had to take a break, and you come in.
2012 OKC James Harden.
Man, oh man. Man, did he win Six Man of the Year that year?
Yes, he did.
And he did win Six Man of the Year. But yeah, I like basketball references because I grew up watching basketball, so that's one thing I could really kind of relate to. But yeah, is there anything else you would like to share? Give me anything, words of advice. Stay in school, kids.
What is it? Confidence.
Don't
When do we need confidence? When do we need it? Now.
Hey, look, let's be honest here. Confidence.
I would just say, as far as your academic life or professional life or just life in general, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. Like, mistakes are gonna happen. Like, we just talked about this, like within like our Harambe group at work. Like, failure is gonna happen. Mistakes are gonna happen, but don't let that define you. Give yourself grace and be an adult. Take accountability. And if you're an engineer, figure out where it is that you went wrong, create your new system, new structure, whatever you need to do to avoid mistakes happening in the future. Like, we're all learning, we're all growing, and don't be so hard on yourself if you fail, if you're not getting it, or if you made a major mistake. Like, there's still light at the end of the tunnel.
If you like today's podcast, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend who may find this channel very beneficial.